The road was unlit, empty, quiet, and the stop sign wasn't supposed to be there. My GPS still showed a straight-through road, a narrow 2-lane back road cut through open farmland, the kind your GPS pushes you onto late at night because it claims it'll save time. I'd been driving it for close to 40 minutes. The radio faded out miles back. My phone showed nothing but a blank signal bar. The pavement vibrated steadily beneath the car. Loose gravel clicked faintly under the tires. That's when I finally saw it. The stop sign didn't appear until my headlights lined up with it head-on. A single reflective marker at a T intersection, suspended in darkness. Someone was standing beside it, just off the shoulder, partially caught in the headlights, close enough to notice immediately, far enough to stay out of the lane. I eased off the gas without thinking. The closer I got, the more unsettled I felt. They wore a reflective vest, thin, inexpensive. Nothing about it suggested authority. Their hands stayed at their sides. They didn't gesture. They didn't step toward the car. They turned their head and looked straight at the windshield before I reached the sign. That was the moment my instincts took over. I rolled to a stop and held the brake. The engine idled, loud in the stillness. The person stayed exactly where they were, silent, motionless, standing right at the edge of the headlights, as if they'd chosen the distance carefully. I checked left, only tree line and open land. I checked right. The road dipped slightly and disappeared into black. That's when I noticed movement behind them, further back, near the edge of the field. Something shifted, low, controlled, intentional. I didn't hesitate. I pressed the accelerator and turned right without fully stopping. The tires complained. The headlights swept across the intersection. That's when I saw the second figure, farther back, near the tree line. Dark clothing, no reflective material, just a silhouette. They stepped away as the light reached them. In the mirror, the first person finally moved. They raised an arm, not to signal me, to signal someone else. My pulse jumped hard enough to hear it. The road tightened almost immediately. Ditches on both sides, trees closing in. Less than a minute later, headlights appeared behind me. Close. Too close. A truck, older, squared off, one headlight brighter than the other. It gained on me fast. I pushed past 60, then 70. The truck stayed glued to my bumper. High beams snapped on, then off, then on again. Not to light the road, to force a response. My phone still showed no service. The GPS recalculated. Again. The road curved left, then dropped into a long stretch between open fields. Nothing but darkness sliding past the windows. The truck closed the gap again. I could make out the grille, primer patches, a mismatched bumper, the kind of vehicle you remember because it doesn't look right. They flashed their lights once more. I held my speed. That's when the truck drifted into the opposite lane. For a second, I thought they were trying to pass. They weren't. They matched my speed, right alongside me. Blackened windows. No attempt to move ahead, just staying there. I kept my eyes forward, hands locked on the wheel, refusing to look over. Then they dropped back. My heart didn't settle, because I knew what came next. About a mile later, the road split around a farm access lane. The truck turned off. I exhaled for half a second. Headlights appeared ahead. Stopped, blocking the road. Another vehicle, parked sideways across the lane. Not fully blocking it, just enough to force a decision. Headlights burned straight into my windshield. I hit the brakes and yanked the wheel, barely missing the ditch. As the car slowed, doors opened. 2 of them. Figures stepped into the light. I didn't stop. I cut the wheel and accelerated through the narrow gap between the bumper and the ditch. Something struck the side of my car. Hard. Metal scraped along metal. I didn't check the mirror. I didn't slow down until I hit a main road nearly 10 minutes later. Streetlights. Other cars. I pulled into the first open gas station and sat there shaking. The engine still running. My hands locked in place. When I finally stepped out, there was a long scrape down the passenger door. Paint transfer. At about hand height. I reported it the next day. They told me they'd heard similar complaints before. No arrests. No suspects. Nothing. I noticed the light before anything else. A phone flashlight, waving from the shoulder of the road. Slow at first, then faster, like someone trying to be seen, without stepping into traffic. It was after 2 in the morning, a rural highway that cut between fields and tree lines. No intersections for miles, no houses, just reflectors ticking past and darkness everywhere else. I was the only set of headlights on the road. I let off the gas. The light kept moving. Up, down, side to side, unsteady, uneven. Not the kind of motion you practice. As I got closer, a figure came into view near the edge of the gravel. They stood just off the shoulder, hunched slightly, one arm raised with the phone, the other tucked close to their body. I didn't pull up next to them. I stopped well back, far enough to turn around if I needed to. The car stayed in drive, foot firm on the brake. I cracked the window. Cold air pushed inside. The person started walking toward me. Not running, not limping, just walking. They kept the phone angled down, not in my face. That helped. It felt deliberate. When my headlights hit them fully, I noticed a reflective strip on their sleeve. Not a safety vest, just a cheap jacket with a stripe sewn in. They were breathing hard. "Thank God," they said. Their voice shook. I didn't answer right away. I watched their hands, watched where they looked. Their eyes kept drifting past my car, toward the road behind me. "What's going on?" I asked. "My car," they said quickly. "It's down there, in the ditch." They pointed with the phone, not toward the highway, toward a shallow slope that dropped away from the shoulder. Tall weeds, dark brush. "I need help," they said. "I can't get it out." The words came fast, too fast. "Are you hurt?" I asked. They shook their head, then paused. "It's not me," they said. It's in the car." That line stuck, because their eyes flicked to my passenger seat when they said it. "What do you mean?" I asked. They swallowed. "My kid's seat," they said. "My stuff. It's all down there." They said it carefully, like they were trying to unlock something. Not fear, responsibility. They took a step closer. I stayed where I was. "I can call for help," I said. "I can get someone out here." Their expression tightened, just for a moment. "No," they said. "No, please. My phone's almost dead." They lifted the phone slightly. The screen was bright, battery icon visible. They pointed down the slope again. "Just come look," they said. "You'll see it right away." I leaned forward and looked past them. There was nothing down there. No hazards, no reflections. The slope bent just enough that my headlights couldn't reach the bottom. "Where exactly?" I asked. "Right there," they said. "You can't see it from here. The angle's wrong." They used the word angle easily. Too easily. They shifted their feet. That's when I noticed the ground near the shoulder. The gravel wasn't smooth. It was scuffed, disturbed. More than one set of marks, like people had been standing there, waiting. I kept my voice calm. "Get in," I said. "I'll drive you to the next lit place." Their eyes widened, not with relief, with hesitation. "I can't leave it," they said. "I can't leave them." Them. I looked down the slope again, and caught a brief flash of reflection. Low. Too low to be a road sign. The person kept talking, kept my attention on them. "Please," they said, "just come down with me. It's not far." They stepped slightly to the side, clearing space, making room for me to open the door. That's when I saw their other hand. It had been hidden behind their hip, holding a set of keys. Not car keys, several keys, on a ring. The kind you carry when you expect to be out for a while. Something clicked. This wasn't the person who needed help. This was the person who got you close. I nodded slightly. "Okay," I said. "I'll pull forward and angle my lights down there." Their face relaxed instantly. Too fast. I eased forward a few feet, then turned the wheel, not toward the slope, across the shoulder behind them. The headlights swept wide and caught movement. 2 shapes, maybe 3, low to the ground near the ditch line. One of them flinched, not like an animal, like someone who'd just been seen. The person near my window snapped their head around. Their voice changed. "Hey," they said, sharp, not scared. I hit the gas. The tires kicked gravel as the car surged forward. In the mirror, the person stumbled back, then ran. Not away, toward the road. Another shape rose from the ditch line, fast, expecting me to stop. I didn't. I stayed on the pavement and drove straight through the space they'd tried to turn into a trap. I didn't slow down until I saw lights, a small intersection, a gas station sign. I pulled into the brightest spot and locked the doors. The engine stayed running. My hands shook as I called it in. Just the facts. A person waving a light, trying to pull drivers off the road, others waiting nearby. The next day, I drove past that stretch in daylight. I didn't stop, but I looked. There was no wrecked car, no broken glass, no fresh tracks, just a shallow slope, tall weeds, and a worn patch of gravel at the shoulder, right where someone could stand and wave a light and wait for you to do the kind thing.